The life and sad ending of Jeannie Seely. Jeannie Seely was born Marilyn Jeanne Seely in Titusville, Pennsylvania on July 6, 1940. Although born in Titusville, she was raised in nearby Townville, Pennsylvania. She developed an interest in country music during her early years. At age 11, she started performing on a local radio station, located in Meadville, Pennsylvania. Because of her short height and the lack of non-adjustable microphones, Seely had to stand on top of wooden containers to sing. At age 16, Seely became a regular performer on WICU, a local television station in Erie, Pennsylvania. She recounted being ridiculed by her high school peers for choosing to sing country music. "They all made fun of me because I sang country. I grew up poor, and in those days calling someone country was a put-down," she said in 2003. In high school, Seely was a cheerleader and an honors student. In 1958, she graduated from Townville High School at age 18. In addition to secretarial work, Seely also worked as a disc jockey for the American Forces Network and appeared on a local California television show called Hollywood Jamboree. She also continued her work as a songwriter. She began writing songs for 4-Star Music. As a songwriter, her songs were recorded by several country artists. One of the first vocalists to record a composition was Dottie West, who cut the song "It Just Take Practice" for her 1965 album Dottie West Sings. In 1965, Seely officially moved to Nashville. "When I arrived in town, I only had $50 and a Ford Falcon to my name," Seely recalled on her official website biography. Once arriving, she attended the 1965 DJ convention and found Hank Cochran at the event. Seely approached him saying, "Well, I am here. Do you still want to work with me?" Cochran replied, "Yes, if you're going to let me make the decisions and do what I know is best for you." Seely agreed, and shortly afterward, she got a position on Porter Wagoner's road and television show, replacing female artist Norma Jean. "Don't Touch Me" was released as a single in March 1966 and became a major hit. By June 1966, the single reached number 2 on the Billboard Hot Country Singles chart. In addition, the song crossed over to the Billboard Hot 100, where it reached a peak of number 85. The song's success prompted the release of her debut studio album, The Seely Style. Released in September 1966, the album peaked at number 8 on the Billboard Top Country Albums list and was her highest charting album. Don't Touch Me also brought several awards to Seely. She later won the Best Female Country Vocal Performance accolade at the 9th Annual Grammy Awards. Seely was also invited to become a member of the Grand Ole Opry in 1967. Don't Touch Me would be Seely's biggest hit and signature song as a recording artist. Seely had success in further releases for the Monument label. Her follow-up to Don't Touch Me also became a major hit. The song, It's Only Love, reached the top 20 of the Billboard Country Singles chart in October 1966. In March 1967, Monument issued her second studio album entitled Thanks, Hank. The album was a collection of tracks written by Hank Cochran, who had been writing much of her material by this point. The album's lead single, A Wanderin' Man, reached number 13 on the Billboard Country list in February 1967, becoming her third major hit. Seely had a second top 10 hit with the single I'll Love You More in early 1968. The song, also written by Cochran, prompted the release of her third studio album in February 1968. The demand for Seely's public appearances also increased during this time. In addition to a solo career at Decca, Seely collaborated with country artist Jack Green. Their first release together was the single Wish I Didn't Have to Miss You. A commercial success, the song reached number 2 on the Billboard Country Singles chart in early 1970. The song prompted their first studio album to be issued in January 1970, which reached number 18 on the country albums list. The pair later released another studio album in 1972 entitled Two for the Show. It included 2 singles, starting with 1971's Much Obliged, which became a top 20 country hit. Green and Seely's duet success led to the creation of their own traveling roadshow from 1969 to 1972. The duo toured and performed at venues ranging from Madison Square Garden in New York City to Wembley Stadium in London. Their concerts and recording would receive recognition from several award programs. They were nominated by the Grammy Awards in 1970 and were nominated 4 times for the Country Music Association's Vocal Duo of the Year between 1972 and 1975. In the early 1970s, Seely's solo recordings had declined at radio. Her 6th studio album, Please Be My New Love, did not receive a Billboard placement. Seely returned to the popularity charts with solo success in 1973. Hank Cochran had reworked the traditional tune, May I Sleep in Your Barn Tonight, to the country song, Can I Sleep in Your Arms? Released as a single, it became Seely's biggest solo hit in several years when it peaked at number 6 on the Billboard Country Songs list. Cochran had also reworked the Appalachian song, Come All You Fair and Tender Ladies, to the title of Lucky Ladies. It also became a major hit, peaking at number 11 on the Country Songs chart in February 1974. Her 9th studio album, Can I Sleep in Your Arms, Lucky Ladies, would be released in late 1973 and reached number 15 on the top country albums chart. Seely then moved to Columbia Records, where she recorded for several years. Some music writers noticed a change in her material while at Columbia. Mary Bufock and Robert K. Orman called Seely's Columbia recordings to be spicy and franker than her previous work, highlighting the hits Take Me to Bed and We're Still in Hangin' in There Ain't We Jessie. The latter tune documented the marital conflicts of several female country artists including Jessie Coulter and Dottie West. In addition, Take Me to Bed would be her last single to date to make a Billboard chart appearance. In June 1977, Seely was involved in a car accident in Goodlettsville, Tennessee, a suburb outside of Nashville. Seely had been driving her vehicle when it crashed into a tree. She was admitted to Nashville Memorial Hospital where she was reported to be in fair condition. Among her injuries, Seely suffered a fractured jaw, broken ribs, a punctured lung, and a collapsed lung. Upon arriving at the hospital, she was given same-day surgery to repair her lung. In 1981, Seely became the first female to be a Grand Ole Opry host when Del Reeves was stuck in a snowstorm and she was asked to fill in for him. Seely returned to a more active music career in the 1990s. In 1990, she released her 11th studio album, which was issued on her own recording label. In 1993, she appeared alongside Stonewall Jackson in the music video for Trashy Women, a song by the band Confederate Railroad. When released as a single, the song reached number 10 on the Billboard Country Songs chart. The following year, her first album of holiday music was released called Number 1 Christmas. While not recording or touring, Seely maintained an active presence as a Grand Ole Opry member. She also continued making regular appearances on the Nashville network. Before the end of the decade, Seely released her 13th studio effort, Been There Sung That. The project was self-produced and featured duets with T. Graham Brown and Willie Nelson. In the early 2000s, Seely turned her attention towards bluegrass projects. In 2001, she sang alongside Ralph Stanley on his studio album Clinch Mountain Sweethearts. On the album, they performed the track I Am Ready to Go. Seely followed this in 2003 with the studio album Life's Highway. The record's bluegrass and acoustic sounds received positive reviews from critics. While taking time to tour, Seely also found time to record her 15th studio album. In 2011, Vintage Country, Old But Treasured was released on her latest label, Cheyenne Records. She returned to recording with her 16th studio album, Written in Song. All 14 of the album's tracks were composed by Seely and many were first recorded by other artists. Marcos Papadopoulos of the Digital Journal gave the album a rating in his review. Overall, Jeannie Seely soars on her new album, Written in Song. Miss Country Soul is back stronger than ever. There is a variety on her latest musical effort. In late 2019, Seely announced her 17th studio recording called An American Classic. It was produced by Don Cusick and released on Curb Records on August 14, 2020. Seely has been married twice. In 1969, she married her Nashville songwriter Hank Cochran. Seely respected Cochran's songwriting and legacy to the country music in the community. In 2010, Seely married Nashville attorney Gene Ward. The couple lives together in a home alongside the Cumberland River in Nashville. In 2018, Seely canceled several engagements after Ward became ill. Ward was rushed to the hospital shortly before Seely was scheduled to make a Grand Ole Opry appearance. Seely's home was destroyed in the 2010 Tennessee floods. As the water started to rise in her neighborhood, Seely and her husband escaped in a pickup truck, leaving valuables behind. Seely lost most possessions in her home after 3 feet of water had damaged the inside. "You can either laugh about it or you can cry, and I don't feel like crying," she said in performance shortly after losing her home.